What's up, gamers? I'm your host, Cobra, and this is the Freeroll. Today, we're breaking down Frontier's Watch ID Mint. Frontier is finally starting to pick up some traction here in 2022. It's been a quiet start to the year, but not a surprising quiet start because the roadmap indicated that there wasn't going to be a whole lot of action until we hit summertime. However, it is mid-June and summertime has arrived for Frontier, which means things are starting to really kick up. So first and foremost, what is the Watch ID NFT itself? The Watch ID is the Frontier PFP collection, and this is really exciting because I am not a PFP collector and would love to have some that I actually care about to use on Twitter and Discord, and to date I've been using the Zero Unit or my Lucky Watcher quite a bit, but it's not a unique NFT and really not meant to serve as a PFP. So these Watch IDs should do that job much better. The previews have looked very cool, and I am excited to get my hands on at least a couple of them. Quick programming note before we jump into the breakdown itself. I always include timestamps below so you can jump straight to the portion of the video that's most applicable to you. Also, consider giving us a follow on Twitter and hit that like and subscribe button for us. Getting your hands on a Watch ID Mint is relatively simple. For one, you could go to the secondary market and simply purchase as many of them as you like. There are plenty that are already listed as available. Alternatively, you could purchase a Zero Unit or take one of the Zero Units that you already own, burn it in order to mint a Watch ID yourself. If you decide to burn a 0S unit, you're going to get 2 times the chances at a rare Watch ID, but there are no guarantees that you get a rare one when you do that, so you're taking on a real risk when you choose to do so. Now that said, the Watcher has teased that the rarest of the Watch IDs will include a royalty split, and that is a massive feature because currently the only way to get a royalty split is by spending multiple ETH to get your hands on a stellar data key. Now you're going to have a chance to be lucky and land yourself a royalty split. We don't know how many of them are out there, and in fact, because we don't know how many Watch IDs are going to be minted in general, that could end up being a very low number. However, it's worth it to get your hands on that because a royalty split is likely going to be worth quite a lot. Now, as usual, Frontier has provided a simple and fun experience for burning your Zero Unit and minting your Watch ID. You're simply going to go to the hub, which I have linked below. It is also linked in the announcement in Discord, and an invite to the Discord is below as well if you need that yourself. Once you get to the hub and connect the wallet that has your zeros in it, it's going to give you an option at the bottom of each of them to burn a unit, and clicking this button and approving the transaction is going to start the process. It'll then kick off a mint animation. I haven't seen it myself yet because we haven't burned any zeros yet, but it is bound to be cool as Frontier always provides a good cinematic experience. So let's break this down a little bit. Burning a Zero Unit in order to mint a Watch ID unit means that those 2 supplies are going to be in flux during the event, and you can continue to burn up until July 7th when the reveal is going to happen and minting will be cut off. So until we get at least a little bit closer to that date, we don't know what the supply of either collection is going to end up looking like. Now, on day 1, almost 1,200 zeros were burned, and at that rate, all of them are going to be burned. However, we know that there's no way they're going to maintain the day one pace, and in fact, that is less than I expected to get burned on day one, simply because of the excitement around this mint. However, I do expect that when it's all said and done, we are going to have fewer watch IDs than we have zero units. Now, the starting supply is 13,333 of the zero units, and that is both the regular and S combined, because either one can be burned for a watch ID. So if you're sitting there thinking to yourself, Cobra, just tell me what to do, I've got bad news for you. You're not going to get that kind of advice today. Instead, I'm going to tell you what to think about and when to make that decision. The reality is there's actually 3 options here, not just 2. The 2 obvious ones are, of course, burn your zero units and mint a watch ID, or hold your zero unit and forego the watch ID. But there's really a third option, and that is to sell your zero unit. Now, why would you want to sell your zero unit now when you have the ability to get something else? The reason is the secondary market is not shut down, and we've already seen the price of zeros go up by about 2x since the start of this event. They're currently sitting at a floor of 0.09. I believe it was 0.165 for the S unit, and that is a significant increase from last week. And therefore, you might consider simply selling your zero units instead of burning them or holding them, because likely the price is going to go back down at least a little bit after the event is over. Historically, that's what we've seen with Frontier. And the same is true of the watch IDs. Once the reveal happens, the common ones are likely to get dumped. That is normal in any PFP project. And again, Frontier has a history of prices dumping after an event has concluded. So we're likely going to see the prices of both go down after July 7th. And therefore, it might be smartest to simply sell your zero units into this news and this event, forego minting, forego the fun part of revealing your ID, and simply take some profits. You can always buy a zero back later on, or buy a watch ID later on as well. And we might come to find that after July 7th, selling a zero for, say, 0.1 would allow you to then go back and rebuy a zero unit and a watch ID for that 0.1 and essentially double your value by foregoing the reveal. So personally, we have 3 regular units and 2 S units. I absolutely will be burning some. The number that we burn is going to depend on what the overall market looks like. If the price of zeros rises enough, then I'm going to consider selling at least 1 or 2 of them. And that may be the 1 or 2 that I was intending to hold and not burn at all. It might be ones that I was intending to burn. But we're going to make that decision as we get a little bit closer. I will be holding anything that I burn for the reveal because I enjoy that gambling aspect, and I would like the slim chance at pulling a 1 of 1 and potentially earning some additional royalties in the future. However, that typically means that you lose a little bit of value when the reveal happens, and we're fully willing to take that risk here on the free roll. Now, that said, I know a lot of you don't want to wait, so I'm not going to let you walk away without some additional guidance. If I were forced to make a decision today, and to be clear, I am not, and I intend to wait until the end of the event, but if I were forced to make that decision today, my decision would be to sell 2 zero units, 1 of each, and to burn the rest of them, leaving me with no zero units at the end of the event. The reason why I would make those 2 choices is a couple. Number 1, the thing that I am most confident on is that the price of a zero unit is going to go back down once the event is over. Once the event ends, it loses the utility of being able to be burned and mint a watch ID. And the watch ID is going to lose some value because the reveal is going to happen, and that's pretty much always what happens with PFP reveals, at least temporarily. So I am confident that by selling at even today's price, I'm going to be able to rebuy a 0 unit for less later on, which I will absolutely do because I am not going to approach the game without the companion unit. I am going to burn the rest of them because, again, I believe that there's going to be a lower supply of watch IDs than there will be 0 units. And I would like to maximize my chances at potentially pulling a rare watch ID, and therefore need as many pre-reveal watch IDs as possible. I might even pick up a couple of extra on the secondary market if the prices are attractive. That said, I still fully expect the price of those IDs to go down once the reveal happens, and assuming I don't have extraordinary luck, most of them are likely to be floor units, and I won't need all of them, so I'll probably sell off the extras and keep just the one that I like best, but that one I intend to keep forever. And that wraps up today's Freeroll episode, breaking down the watch ID mint for Frontier. If you found this video useful, and we certainly hope you did, consider giving us a follow on Twitter. That's where I love to engage with the Play and Earn community and tweet about all of the videos that are being released. I'll also answer any of your questions on Twitter first.